Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Those are the words selected for Epiphany, January 6th, from the prophet Isaiah, who was writing to a people who are in darkness and exile, far away from their homeland, but promising of a light that will shine upon them. Many of us woke up this morning, perhaps if we were up early enough, to the beautiful sunrise. We've been having some wonderful sunrises and also sunsets, where we've seen the light shining and maybe felt the presence of God a little more closely. But yet the next verse in the prophet says, "For darkness shall cover the earth, and the thick darkness the peoples." And maybe also we know about darkness, the darkness of January, past the Christmas holiday season, the darkness of this pandemic that seems to continue on in our lives, maybe this time touching families or friends more closely. The darkness maybe if you are suffering from an illness or just uncertainty or loneliness, finding your way in this world. We might feel that both of these are here, the darkness that covers and yet seeing the light around us. The question is, how do we live and invite that light in, that grace of God, that hope and that peace? Sometimes we use the words to defeat darkness or to obliterate darkness or to get rid of darkness. And I was reading this morning the poet Brian Doyle, and Brian Doyle writes maybe against using those words beating or conquering when we think about things like cancer or other forms of darkness. Instead, he talks about the ways that people can talk about patiently continuing on, enduring, surviving, finding grace, finding hope in the community. He says that maybe, and I want to read the last portion of his short essay on not beating cancer, where he says, maybe if we can celebrate grace under duress, rather than the illusion of total victory, we will be less surprised and more prepared when illness and evil lurch into our lives, as they always will. And maybe we will be braver and better people if we know we cannot obliterate such things, but instead only wield oceans of humor and patience and creativity against them. So again, Brian Doyle writes about finding ways to find and celebrate the grace in community, the grace in enduring something that is terrible or dark or uncertain, but the grace in finding, as he says, extraordinary weapons like humor, like patience, like creativity, and I would add, like our community, like God's grace and God's presence to walk through those dark times. So maybe today, if you're up early, turn your attention to a sunrise, or maybe if you are looking outside, turn your attention to a sunset, and find the ways that that light can shine and help us to find the grace to endure, to walk through, to find the hope even in the dark times. So may that be an Epiphany blessing and a message for you, and we hope that to join us in worship this Sunday as we focus more on the celebration of Epiphany. Have a wonderful day.